Potter coming at you from the privacy and respectful safety and sanctuary of my beloved benefactor. So, at the time of this recording, it is January 10th, 2024, and to date, there has been no ethical, judicial to dispatch somebody to come tell me the truth and bridge the ambiguity with some honesty, as I have been a heavily targeted individual with many factions experimenting on me, running me into the ground with all of this bullying, trying to get me to commit suicide in this witch hunt of this criminal crime ring that weaponizes slander, character assassination, demoralization, devaluing others, and stonewalling the victim, perceived victim, and everything you can do in a Zetsersung, Zetsersung, which is a slow bake tool that the Stasi, Stasi, had used back in World War II to get their targeted individual to commit suicide. So, my question is that if you really call yourself a Christian and pride yourself on striving towards aiming of moral accountability, because none of us are perfect, what the hell are you doing running sideways game on people? I mean, you do have the cognizant sentience to understand that the whole aim is to get that targeted individual that you're running game on to commit suicide. How is that morally ethical? I'm just really curious, because there's been a lot of people who say they love me. Okay, why? Family? I appreciate that until I've given you a reason not to feel safe around me, unless of course you're running sideways game on me and you expect me to roll over and take it, and in that way you might feel unsafe around me. Then don't surround yourself with me, because I never intend to come out and hurt anybody purposefully. But if my actions of truth speaking you find hurtful or painful, well, I would consider that a thing to be congratulatory about, because when you're able to identify it, you're able to fix it. Because sometimes we get blinded to the subconscious triggers that we don't know where to begin to address healing. So if you're getting mad and pissed off with something I said, that, it's like, okay, if I say, like, for instance, instead of using words that belittle, why not use words that build into somebody to help them to rise higher? And you might get all pissed off because I called you out on, you belittling somebody. I can't help that, well, I'm just really curious about that, because I've come across a lot of people that do that, and I'm all like, I mean, unless you really are a literal, duplicit, two-faced witch. I mean, because it's the covens running all of this bullshit. The infrastructure is the skeletal framework of covens, of actual witches and actual warlocks. I mean, on the surface it sounds so Harry Potter, but it's not, because these assholes are the ones that will snivel and grovel for whatever coin and use your blood to get there. Those aren't the witches and warlock typically that the entire story was built on, unless you were Team Slither, and then, then we really don't have room for you in the new earth, because We're trying to fix problems of all of the pain. We're trying to fix problems of all of the murder, all of the mayhem, when you guys are actually participating in it. With all of the sideways, fake as fuck dialogues that you guys like to do, implanting little triggers in your fucking environment just to piss off your target when you're needling them, saying we love you. Meanwhile, you're throwing the rocks, hiding your hands, which are backstabbing knives. I'm like, how do y'all live like that? I mean, I get joy from raising up the people around me. I get joy from looking past somebody's pain and seeing what's in there, and drawing that out. Why? Well, because it was done to me along my path. And these are the kind of tidal waves I like to leave in my wake. I really don't understand how somebody could live like that. And it's a good question to ask yourselves that. And unless you are comfortable living like that, well, then I guess you do you. This conversation is not going to be for you. This conversation is going to be for somebody else that may question themselves and say, why do I do that? Because it's hurtful, it's painful, and you're sowing horrible karma for yourself. I mean, it's hurtful to others. It was hurtful to me at one point in my life, but I've evolved beyond that. Because, here's the hack. What somebody does is never an issue about you. It's about themselves. So I realized that I'm kind of plug and play. Like, whenever you sign up to be like, okay, where do I have to go to sell my soul and get a little something by coming sideways at somebody? Never mind how evil, never mind how vile, never mind how filthy it makes me in the spirit. Just give me the goddamn money already. I mean... So I've already hit that milestone, got my little check mark in my world for growing beyond that. And, just because you're vibing low right now doesn't mean you have to stay vibing low unless you are committed to it and you really want it. And that's cool. I'll be like, okay, let's talk to the others that got all caught up in the sauce, and they're now questioning why they're there. Because whenever you're all on that same frequency, you're all like looking at each other from that frequency, rubbing elbows with each other from that frequency. So the solutions you're looking for are on another frequency. And that's where I come in at, and I'm all like, you guys are like targeting me really hard here. So this is where I have the right and the privilege to speak some common sense into you guys. It's kind of like your food saying, no, you don't want to eat me. Trust me. It would just be like poison to you and you would kill yourself. So that's where I get the right to speak. Because, it's never too late to hit reset, because these are behaviors that is counterintuitive to you being able to manifest. Because, a lot of there's a lot of recipes out there on how to manifest, but, the mindset, but you have to be in a place that is vibing high, that is in concordance with your environment. So if you are about the self in the ego, that's counterintuitive, meaning you're not going to be able to manifest from that level of existence unless, of course, you have actually killed people or sacrificed animals and did spell work to the low vibratory demonic entities. Then you can get there from there. But you will cap yourself and hobble yourself to him owning your soul. He'll forsake the fuck out of you. You know, he'll like trickster spirits will go in there and work your head and turn around and laugh at you because at the end of the day, you all are incarnates, whether or not you're reptilian or human or whatever. The father of deceit wants everybody's fucking ass. So they will all laugh at you. They will all tool you. And, you know, the Most High will never tool you in the sense that it will use and abuse you. Everything that the Most High allows into your lives is there to chasten you, is there to sharpen you, is there to elevate you. So if you end up in, you know, in a thunderstorm or in a ring of fire, it is the whole point of when you subscribe to serving the light. It will help you get through the fire without the scent of smoke on your clothes. So I'm just curious because I really am just wanting to reach out to you guys because, you know, it's no digs on me anymore. I've grown from that. But the thing is that honestly, when it comes to all of the defamation and character assassination and slander, is that I really never gave two shits. Nope, 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 nope. It was an evolution. It took my own pathway to get here. But, you know, because that was the deal, is that I learned that whatever somebody does is more a reflection on them and an issue with them. And that anybody could have signed up for the targeting, you know, be like, oh my God, I want to go be evil as I can and wear Satan shirts and be like, fuck you to everybody and then run sideways evil game at you because I don't care what I have to do. Just give me the little something and I'll snivel and grovel the way you might want to have me do it just for the sake of the goddamn coin. Never mind the blood. I'll just laugh it off. Never mind the side of my 8-year-old bone marrow that went into it. I'll just slough that off and go spend, 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 spend. Because God is my money. Money is my God. Okay. Well, that line of thinking right there, that was between you and you. And I could have been Harriet Tubman herself, and you still would have come sideways at me. I could have been Jesus Christ that never did a goddamn thing to anybody. You would still come sideways at me. I could have been Mother Teresa and you still come sideways at me. Are we getting the point here? So really, that ideology is quite the expansion pack to your own awareness in your own conflicts when you deal with others, is that whatever conflict you have with somebody, say it's distasteful, rude, disrespectful, the problem was always with them and themselves. And you could have been plug and play, and they still would have fucking cheated. They still would have lied. They still would have backstabbed. So if you can realize that it was never an offense to you personally, and it was a inner conflict with themselves, doesn't it make it feel a little bit easier? I mean, it did for me. I mean, it really, really did for me when I realized that I was no longer a prisoner to the acts of what somebody did to me, because I never cared what someone did to what someone thought of me. I cared about how I was treated. And so when I realized that how I was treated was always an issue with that person themselves, because, you know, I'm being targeted here. But I could have been the goddamn Pope and y'all still would have targeted me for a little something. I mean, really? So when I was able to liberate myself that way, I leveled up in ways you could never imagine. I began to become master of myself. You know, I mean, granted, it could be touch and go at times, sure. Because it's like you can walk a tight wire rope from point A to point B, but when you're doing it, you're still going to, you're going to have to adjust and counterbalance yourself, so you're never really quite, like right across the way. You mean more like this across the way. So, but the important thing is that I always gain clarity and gain sight of the value of understanding the fact that conflict is always with the person themselves, per se. Because plug and play you into that equation, they still would have done the same thing. To an extent, but they still would have the same deficits within their own character that you found disagreeable. So what is the answer to that? Number one, communicate. If you're going to be pissed off about somebody and decide not to tell them and tell everybody else, well, that just makes you a jerk. It makes you a jerk. It makes you an abusive person. And it makes you get in the way of living your own best life. Especially if you really, have a sense of affinity for the person, But how I would deal with that is talk to the person about it from a place of love after you cool down. Because when we have conflict and we're problem solving it, the solutions are not on the vibratory frequency where frustration is manifested, where hate is manifested, where anger is manifested. That won't get you anywhere. That's why if you break down the adage that calmer minds prevail, it's because the solutions are on the frequency where there is a lack of frustration, there is a lack of hate, and there is an absence of anger. So you need to talk to the person. And the Bible says, if that don't work out, talking one-on-one, bring a witness, hash it out there. And if that doesn't work, well, then bring them before the church. And the church can be an institution that could serve as an impartial mediator. But you have to make sure that the said person is vibing on a vibratory frequency that will not have a price point to sell out their integrity. You need somebody that is ethical and will not compromise their ethics for favor, will not compromise their ethics for, money or whatever. It's because what we're having this problem with the 3D hierophants, your judges, who has said, yeah, I ain't got no integrity no more. And you guys can hike up my skirt and, suck me off and I'll do whatever the fuck you want. So it matters on the vibratory frequency this person or institution is vibing at, represents, and is in their baseline within their own musculoskeletal fracture. Infrastructure, of integrity, of ethics, unyielding and uncompromising, where they are loyal to the truth, not people. So talk to the person. And then if it don't work out, well then detach. Just mind your own goddamn business. Leave them the fuck alone. Let them do them. And forgive them in love. And to say you're forgiving somebody, the fallacy is that you're releasing them from karma. Fuck no. Oh, hell no. And I say that because you don't want to enable the behavior. You want to help amend the behavior. And you ain't got no jurisdiction over that. Your jurisdiction is the big man upstairs, God. Give it to God. So when you forgive, what you do is break any energetic ties to that person, place, thing, or situation. You break all those ties. Because when you have a tie to that, some of these bastards can use that tie and siphon your energy like a thief in the night. I swear to God. That's how these guys get me. Or have gotten me and get you guys. That's why holding on to your joy is a spiritual battle and a weapon. Literally and physically. And then so when you forgive, you're saying, you know what? I'm not holding any frustration to you anymore. I'm not holding any anger. I'm letting go of hate. I'm like blank slate, okay? And then whenever you pray love upon them, my act of love is to pray for the prosperity, to come into an alignment with divinity. And, not demonic totality, divinity. Because people can prosper in demonic totality, or people can prosper in divinity. But whenever you do come into an alignment, it sloughs off the evil. It sloughs off the vile. It sheds the scales from one's eyes. And if they can do that, then everybody wins. And ethics go back into place. People stop molesting kids. People stop murdering. People stop behaving like the fool. And if your prayer got them there, then they will learn how much it hurt you when they did that. And unless you just want to just kill somebody and not even let them learn, well, you have a lot to learn too. But if you were able to get them to that point, well, winner, winner, chicken dinner. And I'd imagine there's a lot of dividends for that in the 5D. So all of the people that, made up lies about me, you all only hurt yourselves. Because when I let go and let God will take care of everything for me. I won't have to lift a finger. All I have to do is focus on me and mind my own vibratory frequency and do me. And Abraham Hicks says, one who is tuned in, tapped in, plugged into source is more powerful than 1 million who are not. And all you guys coming after me, y'all ain't plugged into source, honey. You guys are plugged into the father of deceit, the father of lies. You guys are plugged into everything that is demonic in totality. You are plugged into eternal damnation, in other words. That's why I have compassion for you guys. I listen to a lot of hell testimonies. They not good at all. That's the lowest vibratory frequency in the state, in the country, in the world, in the earth, in the galaxy, in the universe, in the cosmos. That's the lowest vibratory frequency. That if you get keeled over and you're vibing at that, that's right where you go. You go right into what the Christians would call hell. So whenever you're running your sideways game with the fucked up, fake as fuck dialogues, you are dominion of Satan. You are dominion of demonic totality. How can you not see that, my loves? That's why I encourage you to hit reset, serve the light, and make ethics your virtue. Make moral aptitude your religion and make integrity your own totality. Because without that, this is where you cock block yourself from living your own best life. And if that's what you're sowing in the world, strife, that's exactly what's coming back to you. And if you were acting the fool this whole time, and in God, I don't know what God does. I'm sure He weighs in your heart. That's none of my business. My business, as I see it, is to let go and love and forgive you and love and pray for you to prosper, to coming into an alignment. And, a segment, I do soup it up with 100,000-fold on that return to sender in concordance with God's perfect will, in love, in full endorsement of karma. Because karma is the Pavlovian classical conditioning that keeps you in check. It's like you touch a hot stove, you're not going to want to do that again. But if you didn't have the sensors and you touch the stove, you could lose a hand and not even fucking feel it. That's where you all are at right now. You all are in eternal damnation for those of you that are participating in that Zetzersung of this criminal crime ring that enables fentanyl, enables all of the bad things happening in our country right now, especially the kids being molested. I mean, how far removed from yourself do you have to have God be money to not care about the kid being sodomized? Because that happens. And this criminal crime ring not only endorses that, they use kids like fucking dollar bills to get what they want. Could be fentanyl, could be guns, could be power. Be like, okay, I want to be president over here. And not only do I want to be president and king, I'm just going to fucking kill anybody I decide I want to. And then somebody goes, okay, we can do that. You got like 20 kids there. How old are they? That is your criminal crime ring, people. I mean, if you guys are the coven, then you already know that. And my question to you is, how good are you really with that? And if that's not your cup of tea to, care, well then, God bless you. Well, good are you then? You good to you. None of my business. That's how I could survive all this time and not give two shits about what somebody thinks of me. I'd rather be happy being me. Be free being me. Be liberated being me. I ain't trying to run sideways game on anybody. And that matters. So when I was in Houston, the only chance I saw out of being gang stalked, out of being targeted, was to manifest my way out of it. So when I left Houston, that was about 2021, Tim Regali had just gotten a divorce from me. I consented. And then sometime after that, that's when I got an inheritance. I manifested that. Yes, I did. Because I know it was after I left Houston that came in. Because if Tim knew it was there, he never would have pursued the divorce as hot and heavy as he had. And I was manifesting before I left Houston. I even have YouTube, Facebook videos about that. So, I happen to know that I am filthy rich. I'm loaded. And all of that gang stalking What God did, I co-created with God. Didn't know it at the time. I do now. What he did was give everybody enough rope to hang themselves with. Y'all stepped into it real hard. Because when you were busy building a grave for me and all of your plotting and planning, I'd already let go of that and I gave it all to God. Because I knew that he could take care of me. And my mama taught me. She had always said, look up, look up. Never give up hope. Always pray. So my life had been a constant state of prayer. And exercise. And Mary Jane. It's true. I'm not going to deny that. But, I wasn't dependent on it either. Because I can live without it. So, at any rate, it's Patricia Ann Landon Regali, Chief Little Flower. Just really curious on how anybody can have the stomach to break bread and target an individual at the same time. Unless you really are that psycho and you really are that narcissist. Then that's cool. You do you. Because you will incur the wrath of God for that. But I've already forgiven, and I continue to love and pray prosperity in full concordance of support with karma. You choose what karma you want. I really don't care. I just would like for everybody to get on track and give up the Auschwitz motherfucking ghost already. For your own sake. Either way, in the end, I win. I get my legend. I get my man. I get my land of milk and honey with all of the dollar bills and all of the gold and everything in between. Number one, you have to be happy right where you're at with everything going on right around you. I did that. And I've already chosen it. I've already believed in it. And I've already known it. And I know it's there. Some of you already know it's there before I did. Some of you know beyond what I know with my 3D. Y'all have the 3D awareness, which was just, it just chaps your ass, doesn't it? I'm talking to the karmics here who have been trying to get me to commit suicide because, they're money grubbers where Satan is who they break bread and honor in their Sodom Gomorrah with running the goddamn sideways game with their little fake-ass dialogues, their little fake-ass props in their environments, and then they go report on the little Guardian app, and then as they get their training sessions from their handlers that are the fucking murderers, may not even be human. There are demons that run that shit show, by the way, that look human, that really demon. Not that any Christian would really know. They think the devil is real, but then they are playing goddamn hopscotch with it. So whenever I do me over here. But that's how come I never really cared what anybody said about me. And I still don't care. But you all will choke on every fucking word. Because Abba's not going to have it. At any rate, thank you for watching. I'll see you all on the next video. The time of this recording, January 10th, 2024. And still, no ethical hierophant of the 3D has dispatched anyone to bridge the ambiguity with some fucking truth and honesty. But ironically, they're still feeding the goddamn swine with giving them the cashola money for the government grubbers to keep on grubbing. Why is that? That needs to cease and desist. Cease and end. Nobody should be getting their palms greased for fucking killing people with their goddamn psychological torment and warfare, with these crimes against humanity, which are hate crimes. Well, you guys are now paying for that. Enjoy your word crumbling around you in the 5D Zetzer sung.